The California Gold Rush was one of the most remarkable developments in American history, triggering a massive immigration surge and transforming the region into a multicultural, melting pot within a few years. California went from a sparsely populated territory to a vibrant hub of adventure and opportunities, where dreams were made and broken in the alluring sparkle of gold. Gold was found in California on March 9, 1842, at Rancho San Francisco, in the mountains just north of what is now Los Angeles, California, and Francisco Lopez stopped on the banks of a small creek in present-day Placharita Canyon in search of stray horses. About 5 kilometers east of Newhall, as his horses grazed, Lopez unearthed a few wild onions. Stumbling upon a small gold nugget among the roots, he then dug further and found even more gold. Lopez reported his find to the authorities, who confirmed its value. From then on, he and others started exploring other creeks in the area, finding several deposits in the northeastern part of the forest in what is now Ventura County. In November of that year, some of the gold was sent to the United States Mint. Although the discovery garnered little attention at the time, the gold rush formally began when James W. Marshall found gold at Sutter's Mill near Coloma, California, on January 24, 1848. He was working for the Swiss immigrant John Sutter, who was building a sawmill in the area. The discovery occurred in the waters of the American River. The discovery was initially kept secret, but news slowly began to spread throughout California. It was further amplified when the newspapers, the Californian and the California Star, published the story in March 1848. Over the course of the summer, the news reached San Francisco and the ports along the Pacific coast, sparking great excitement. The President of the United States, James K. Polk, confirmed the findings in a message to Congress, further intensifying national and international interest in California. The gold rush reached its peak in 1849, attracting thousands of people from all over the world to California. Between 1849 and 1855, around 300,000 people are estimated to have flocked to California. They came by land via the California Trail, via Cape Horn, or across the Isthmus of Panama. Gold fields were hectic and multicultural places. Most miners lived in temporary camps, and their circumstances were often difficult, lacking basic supplies, poor housing, and the constant threat of disease. Some towns, such as San Francisco, suddenly experienced a huge population increase, going from a small settlement to a thriving city in just a few years. The first prospectors employed simple methods, such as panning, using a sort of shallow pan and the rocker box, a wooden container, for separating gold from alluvial sand and gravel. These two methods needed not much more than physical strength and determination. As surface gold deposits became depleted, more complex methods, such as hydraulic and quartz reef mining, were devised, requiring capital investment and technology. The gold rush profoundly impacted the Californian and U.S. economies. The influx of gold fueled industrial development and transcontinental railroads. San Francisco became a thriving cosmopolitan city. From a social perspective, the gold rush was one of the first large-scale events to foster global immigration to the United States. People from all over the world, including China, Europe, Latin America, and Australia, arrived in droves to try their luck, resulting in a significant cultural mix. There were also tensions and conflicts, however, often leading to discrimination and violence, especially against Chinese immigrants and Native Americans. The large influx of newcomers started to displace Native Americans from their traditional homelands of hunting, fishing, and foraging to defend their homes and livelihoods. Some natives fought back by attacking the miners. This triggered fierce retaliation against the indigenous villages. Outgunned and outnumbered, many Native Americans were slaughtered. The ones who managed to escape often starved, as they no longer had access to the areas where they used to forage for food. Recent studies indicate that the traders profited much more than the miners themselves. During the gold rush, a skilled entrepreneur, shopkeeper, and newspaper publisher, Samuel Brennan, was California's wealthiest man. In the early years of this era, he opened the first supply stores in Sacramento, Coloma, and other locations in the gold fields. Once the rush began, he acquired all the prospecting equipment available in San Francisco and resold it at huge profit margins. The gold rush started to decline around 1855 as the easier-to-access gold reserves were depleted and mining became more corporate and industrialized. But California had already been irretrievably reshaped, both in development and in population diversity. The California Gold Rush had a legacy. It hastened California's ascension as the 31st state in 1850 and signaled the beginning of an era of expansion and development in the American West. The cities founded and the infrastructure developed during this era formed the bedrock of modern California.